So this is what I'm hearing. So Drake supposedly in this $400 million deal, he had one more deliverable, which is the Party Next Door album. Now, prior to the beef in May, there was going to be a last project that would then catapult Drake into his next deal. It's like basketball. These guys are like restricted free agents, right? You don't let them become a free agent before you negotiate and lock them into another deal. What happens is when you're at your last project, y'all start talking. It's like contract here. Think about NBA. All right, you playing basketball. Sometimes they be like, yo, I'm too injured to play. When it's contract here, you suck up that injury, you got to play because you want that bigger contract next. Here's the interesting thing. Before Drake could drop that and then potentially be a free agent, he's been negotiating. He's been thinking, I'm going to go get a bigger payday, maybe $600 million. The beef happens, and from what I've been, told, the conversations have severely not gone in Drake's favor. The re-upping or whatever, it's just not what Drake would think. Think about how arrogant you have to be in the middle of a negotiation that you are hoping to get over $500 million. And in the middle of the negotiation, you say to yourself, yeah, let me go get in a rap battle. The point is that in a rap battle, anything could happen. If you've done the work, which everybody agreed he did the work to earn whatever he was supposed trying to get, why would you then, after winning at the casino on your way out, after you cash the money in, say, put everything on red? Let's throw around numbers. If Drake asked for reportedly $600 million, I guarantee if he had smoked Kendrick, he would have said, I need 800 now. If he had won in the eyes of the majority of the people, fuck 600. Hey, we need 8. And remember that I was talking, we're haggling about? I need twice that too. Oh, and also, I need this incentive. Was this a play covertly that Drake had to understand? If I win, negotiation done, I dictate the terms. And not only that, I get to further show Universal, I run this rap shit. I build artists, I destroy them. I'm the nigga. And this should end all the conversation, right? So look, New York City, look at this huge block. Nigga stayed here for 11 days. Just at the Barclays, the nigga made $18 million. Let's look how many days he did at the Barclays. So the 17th, 1, 18th, 2, 20th, 3, 21st, 4. So 4 dates, $18 million. Do the math. That's around $4.3 million. 4.4 million dollars per show. The total amount of tickets at the Barclays, 64,000 tickets. Now let's look at Bad Bunny, because he sold out Yankee Stadium before. Bad Bunny tour. Like, we could look up all these things, right? Like, all these things are trackable, right? Here we go. Yankee Stadium. Now, he did it 2 nights in a row. And I guess the capacity depends on how it could hold up to 50 or 60,000, but it has to be a 360. They don't do 360 sometimes. His setup wasn't a 360, so it had 40,000. So he did 2 nights, 40,000, and he had 22 million. So one show would have been 11 million, if you understand what I'm saying. Here's how the math works. Kendrick does 1.8 million per show. Drake does 4.5 million per show. I'm pretty sure SZA does about 1.8 as well. You add SZA and Kendrick, and it gets to be closer to Drake. Still not even Drake's level. What does that mean? Drake could clearly do a stadium by himself. We're going off data. Both SZA and Kendrick combined don't sell as much ticket or gross more than Drake. Let's look at SZA's SOS tour. SOS tour. New York City. She did Madison Square Garden. So 2 dates, 26,000. 1 date would be 13,000. So her per show is 2.3. So you know what actually this says? And I know Kendrick fans are going to be upset at this. He's the hottest he's ever been now. But going into this, before his battle or Not Like Us, SZA is a higher grossing tour artist than Kendrick. Kendrick, we just looked at it. Kendrick is 1.3 million a show. SZA is, divide this by 2, let's say 2.4. So 1.3, 2.4, do the math. That's 3.7. Drake is 4.5. It sold 319,000 equivalent album units. And if you're wondering how that breaks down, it breaks down to essentially about 285 from just streaming, which is SEA, which means if you buy 10 songs, say you buy TV off 10 times, it's counted as one album. 32,000 came from actual digital album purchases, which was available on his website, Amazon, iTunes, and any other retailers that sold the project. So yeah, he sold 319 first week, which, you know, I think it's a decent number. It's definitely a good number for Kendrick. And I understand that there's a bunch of Drake fans here and Kendrick fans here who want to compare these two. There is no comparison. I keep trying to tell you, Kendrick could die 15 deaths. He doesn't compete with Drake overall for streaming. You can't compare every one of Kendrick's albums to Drake albums. Drake has ran streaming for years. Just forget about it. I was a little bit disappointed that, you know, again, whether he had just popped up and dropped it randomly, the type of attention that Kendrick has, I thought it was going to do 400,000. You know, when I felt like shit, somebody that worked at Spotify told me that they paid Kendrick Lamar $4 million to perform 30 minutes at Cannes for a private group. I said, what the fuck? I'm not getting paid $4 million this year, and I got to give y'all like 72, actually it was like 100 podcasts. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all niggas gave Kendrick $4 million for a 30-minute performance, nigga? Back in 2022, Kendrick wasn't performing nowhere. For whatever reason, like mad people wanted him to perform. Spotify showed up and they were at Cannes. So what happens is these big companies go there and they have all these festivities trying to encourage advertisers, this and third, to come with them. And one of their things was having performers. So their performers, the headliner was Kendrick Lamar. Now, I spoke with one of the people, I won't tell you who. Actually, I spoke to the person who booked Kendrick Lamar. And when they told me the price they booked Kendrick Lamar for, I threw up in my goddamn mouth, nigga. I said, $4 million fucking dollars for what? But yes, if he's getting paid $4 million for that, and this is in 2022, I'm gonna be honest with you, Coachella would have to cough up over $10 million. So Kendrick's exclusivity, and this is for the K-Bots, y'all can run with this, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to give y'all something because I know y'all been just too heavily focused on hating on Drake. I'm got to give you something about your artist. Y'all could just, yes. Let's go back to Kendrick. You remember I just said, I think if Kendrick does Coachella in 2025, by that time his album might be out. He did Super Bowl. You got to pay him over $10 million, 10, 11, maybe $12 million, right? Just for him to do Coachella. So it's 2 weekends. He's doing 2 performances, probably an hour, hour and a half. So 3 hours of his time, $10 to $12 million, right? Just work with me as I try to break it down to y'all. Kendrick just did a whole tour. It made 89 million, or actually it was 96. I think my numbers are off. Anyway, his tour average gross was about like 2 million. Like, I know the number I told you just sounds utterly ridiculous, but it's not. What he would make for 9 shows on his tour, he makes for 2 shows at Coachella. Why is he worth that much? Well, you're not going to catch Kendrick too many places, so you're going to have to pay the cost to see the boss, and Kendrick's the boss when he hasn't performed anything. So that's the way how people play exclusivity. If you wonder why Frank Ocean's so elusive, that nigga's not just strolling down every motherfucking random street. That nigga plays the exclusivity game. And I have good authority that last time Travis Scott was supposed to headline on Coachella, he was scheduled to be paid $8 million. So if I'm looking at Travis at 8 at that time, I'm looking at Kendrick at pretty much the peak of his career. At this point, he's going to do Super Bowl. If y'all were giving Travis 8 back then, you got to give him more. I'm saying at least 10.